Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Holly Hamilton here at the Turks and Caicos Islands Airports Authority with the weekly tropical weather briefing here today on Friday, November 8th. Going right into it, we're looking at the surface chart. The key main features here, well, we have that high pressure in the Atlantic, North Atlantic. We have that trough of low pressure here um, over the Hispaniola, going into the Central Caribbean and into the Western Atlantic, and then Hurricane Raphael here in the Gulf of Mexico. So looking at the satellite imagery, we have that high pressure. You see the clearish skies here, just some low-level clouds over the Western Atlantic. The disorganized showers and thunderstorms associated with that trough of low pressure, and then Hurricane Raphael in the Gulf of Mexico. Turks and Caicos Islands is right here, and we're seeing some of those cloud tops, or clouds rather, um, with showers and thunderstorms moving into our area right now. So later today, going into tonight, we could experience some showers and possible thunderstorms, and that weather would transpire into the weekend as this trough of low pressure moves through the area. And we're going to talk about this in the next slide, but this area here is actually being monitored for potential development. There's a low chance of development, but yes, we'll move right into that, the tropical weather outlook, where we see Hurricane Raphael in the Gulf of Mexico. And then, as I was saying earlier, that trough of low pressure is being monitored for potential development in the next over the next 7 days. So just quickly taking a look at Hurricane Raphael, the one lone active system right now. It's located in the Gulf of Mexico. It's moving west at 9 miles per hour, and this was as of 11 o'clock today. It's currently a hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour with higher gusts, and it's just pretty much expected to meander within the south western Gulf of Mexico until it dissipates by midweek. And then that system, that area of disturbance that's being monitored right now, still a low chance of development. Um, this morning it was 20% chance, and now they bumped it down to 10% chance. Um, but regardless of development, what we're expecting to experience going into the weekend is periods of showers and thunderstorms, some locally heavy rains with that as that trough of low pressure move across the Turks and Caicos Islands, and then it's projected to move um, somewhere within the region along Bahamas and Cuba. Um, so with that, we'll just move right into the winds and waves for the next 5 days. Here's the wind chart, and here's the trough of low pressure here outlined with that orange dotted line. And it's moving westward towards the Turks and Caicos Islands right now. And this is this is the 24-hour forecast for Saturday. So this is where it's projected to be located on Saturday morning. And with seas, we're looking at 5 to 7 feet. Winds would be relatively light because in the center of that troughing there, the winds would be pretty light. So we'll see a bit of the winds will subside a bit from the breezy to windy conditions we've been experiencing for the past couple of days. We'll have a small craft advisory with the 5 to 7 feet with northeasterly to easterly swells. So again, caution to beachgoers and boaters going into the weekend with the hazardous marine conditions. So now 48 hours, we're looking at Sunday, that trough of low pressure now that's centered across the southeastern central Bahamas and Cuba. So it would be to the west of Turks and Caicos. We're seeing some strong winds. These are the oranges we're seeing here. We're seeing the winds picking up again to the north of us as that pressure gradient tightens between that trough of low pressure and then the high pressure building up here to the north. And then we have a cold front coming down from the Atlantic. Seas will still be at 5 to 7 feet, so that small craft advisory will stay in place. We see that trough of low pressure now moving further west. It's over Cuba. Um, and then that high pressure is building and pushing downwards further into the Atlantic towards the Caribbean region. We see some of that orange here to the north and east of us. So we'll see the winds picking up a bit going towards the end of the weekend into early next week. Uh, and with that, we'll see seas get a bit rougher. So we see the sea heights increase to 7 to 10 feet. So that small craft advisory will remain in effect. And then we start to see the oranges kind of die away. So the wind conditions will start to subside as we move into midweek. So Tuesday here, we're looking at winds at 15, around 10 to 15 knots. Seas will start to subside gradually, 6 to 9 feet. We'll still have that small craft advisory in place, though, because of the northeasterly to the easterly swells. And then finally on Wednesday, we see a lot of blues. So the winds will be pretty gentle to moderate. And then seas of 4 to 6 feet on Wednesday. So that's the look at the tropical weather um, for the next couple days or going into next week. Join us next week, Friday, for the next briefing. And as usual, follow us on our various social media platforms, subscribe to our WhatsApp channel so that you can get updated real time with any pertinent information. Also, download the DDME Alert app if you don't have it. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Um, I have been receiving the notifications in regards to that possible area of disturbance that we're monitoring. So it's a good tool to have and to turn on the notifications so you can actually get that ping whenever a message comes through. So with that, we just stay vigilant. We'll be monitoring the system that's moving towards us, that trough of low pressure, and just stay alert. And you stay safe over the weekend, and we'll see you next week.